everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Chef Portia, and this is my Farmers Market Live. So yesterday when I was at the Farmers Market, I picked up a bunch of herbs. I think you saw those pictures, that little video of all those herbs. So I have some chives here, some dill, and some parsley. And then I'm also going to, I have another set of chives over here that I'm going to do. So I'm going to do a couple of things. So today I am going to be doing a herb flatbread. So these are from those herbs that I got yesterday. How do you keep herbs? What are some of the best ways to keep your fresh herbs? So one of the ways, two great ways. So one is to put them in a damp paper towel and place them in a plastic bag in your fridge. Another way is just to treat them kind of like cut flowers. So especially ones like this parsley. So you just put them in a glass of water and pop that into your refrigerator. So that's another great way. So let's get started with our herb flatbread, and I'm going to be making a compound butter to go with that. So you'll see what I mean by that. So for the flatbread, I have one little set of chives right here, and I'm going to give that a chop. Make that nice and tiny. Okay, so you can do whatever herbs you like. So, nice tender herbs. So you could do the dill in here, the parsley, the chives, some tarragon, any combination, or just one. So I'm just doing one. So, and this is going to give me 3 flatbreads. So I'm going to start with a few chives here. So this recipe has chives. We have a half a cup of yogurt and a half a cup of flour, and also some baking powder, and that's it. And you'll see how we make a really fun flatbread from that. So you can add garlic to this. These cook really quickly. So I have a pan heating up here, my skillet. So in here I have my flour, half a cup of flour. To that I'm going to add the chives. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. And I'm also going to add some salt. I have some salt here. And the yogurt. We're going to combine all that, mix it, and we're going to roll it out here on the table for our flatbread. Okay. All right, so this is going to start to look really weird and kind of shaggy after a little bit. And then we're going to roll it onto our cutting board. But what I'm going to do before I do that, because I want to use this surface also to chop these other herbs to make my compound butter. Let's get working so on those other herbs just to kind of free up this space for that. So, because before I start to get it all floured, etc. So I have the chives. Now, let's see, some more chives. It's the dill. And we just kind of chop that together. Chives and dill. You can use green onions too if you don't have chives. But again, it's nice to get a big, huge bunch of them from the farmer's market. I'll show you guys what you can do with it. Also, your parsley. So instead of having to pluck off each individual flat leaf parsley leaf, what I like to do with parsley is I will take it and I'll kind of pull it apart, but I'm going to gather all the leaves together like this. And I'm going to create with a little bouquet, like so. So I'm just going to pull all those leaves apart from the stem, but gather them all together so they're all there at the top. And then I'm going to just kind of give it a little shave. So it's here on my board. So just kind of give it a little shave. There you go, you can see that. And then I'm going to gather these together into a little ball. So I create a little herb ball, and then I chop. So then I'm not chasing them all over the board, okay? So that's what I like to do. So I have all these herbs. That looks good. So I'm going to grab just some of these larger pieces out for now. Then I have some butter here, and I'm going to take my herbs and add them to that butter, which has been sitting out. It's softened. We're going to add some salt. You can add all kinds of things to a compound butter. I'm just going to add some salt. We're going to combine that. So let me grab the fork. All right. And mix that. Get all those herbs in there. So this is just like a really great butter accompaniment to a bread, to a flatbread, to your baguette, whatever. It's going to go nicely, let's see, with even like, you know, you can use it for finishing some chicken in your pan at the very end, or even add some garlic to it, even for a steak. Put it on the top, on like a little knob of this on top of a steak as you're serving it, so all of that melts, and then you just are left with the flavor of the butter and those herbs. Okay, so that's my compound butter. All right, nice herb compound butter. So those are the herbs, like I said, I decided to go with today, but you can choose whatever you like when you're making it yourself at home. Okay, so back to my bread, my flatbread dough. So I'm going to continue to combine it like so, just with my spatula. Then what I'm going to do is, kind of seems like I can't combine it anymore. That's going to get in here with my hands. So now I'm going to start to take that off of my spatula, and then I'm going to just not quite knead it, but just kind of bring it all together, because you're not really looking to do a whole lot of gluten development. Again, there are only a few ingredients in here, but you do want it all to combine. So here we go, it's coming together. This, like I said, is going to make 3. The recipe I'm going to post on my blog will have for 6. It's basically just going to be double this, but super simple, and it's really tasty. Okay. So let me show you this. Here we go. So you see it's starting to come together like a nice little ball of dough. I just can't believe that it does this. So that yogurt in there just adds the liquid. So this, you have no yeast in here, so you no need to set this to the side and let it rise. You're just going to roll it out in a moment. And then I'm gonna divide this out, roll it out, and then I'm gonna put it in the pan. But before that, I'm gonna show you. I have one piece that was already ready to go, so we'll get it in the pan, and then I'll show you how I also roll these out. All right, so I'm gonna take some. I have some grapeseed oil here, and I'm just gonna spread that across that flatbread. So you see, we got that. Put that in the pan with that oil side down. And you can hear it sizzling. I'm going to move this over just a little bit so you can see this a little better as it's cooking. Wash my hands. Fork. Here you go. So it's heating up nicely, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a little oil on that top side, so when I flip it, it have some oil for this to cook as well. So just using grapeseed oil. You can even use melted butter, whatever you like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. It's going to create 3 pieces. Just going to divide that into 3. Each of these you just roll into a ball. And you take your rolling pin, just roll that out until you have, again, with a nice flat piece of dough. Oops. Okay, you just continue to do that. I'm going to keep watching this here. Okay, so it's going to just cook. So it's going to take about 2 to 3 minutes per side. All right. But I like to check on it as it's in the pan. So medium heat is what you're looking for. Continue to roll. So you can see all those beautiful little flecks of chives in your dough. And that's what you're looking for, just a nice accompaniment to anything like, of course, the butter that I've created. But also I did a rotisserie chicken this week, so I think I'm going to serve that flatbread with the rotisserie chicken. And maybe a little yogurt sauce. If you watched that video I did on the cauliflower, that's a great sauce, that yogurt and tahini sauce with the chive butter. So I forgot to grab my flour. I'll show you guys how I'm going to roll these out. I don't want this to stick. Yeah, they're doing all right on this. Oop, a little bit of stickage. That's okay. Pinch it together. I'm going to get some flour for that, but I'm going to keep watching this. So I see some little bubbles forming. It's starting to cook on the bottom. Oop. I turned it down. There we go. Now it's going to work. Okay. I turned it down instead of up by accident. I see. cooking. But anyway, I do still see some bubbles being created in that dough. So that's that baking powder. That's really all you need to, you're not really looking for for it to rise. Just a little bit of air pockets being created in here. That's all you're looking for. And that's what's happening. So it's going to start to brown. And that's what you're going to get here. So you can see those pretty little air pockets right here. Here's one. Those little bubbles. That's good. That's the sign of a really good flatbread. All right. Ah, there we go. So that's the color you're looking for. You can see that there. Just a little bit, maybe another minute or so. And then I'll flip it, and you'll see what we're looking for. And I'm going to continue to cook the other pieces that I'm going to roll out, and we'll go from there. So yes, so 2 ways to, again, keep those herbs in your fridge, either in a towel with water, or in a glass with water, paper towel with water, or in a glass with water. Here we go. So nice, beautiful flatbread. Also, you can use those herbs in so many things. So, of course, you know, in salads and salad dressings, in a yogurt sauce, in your bread, you know, whatever bread recipes that you have. So I mostly grab those tender herbs. So those are what herbs that you can, you know, use at the end of cooking, like I said, in this butter. If you have something like thyme, something like that, I probably wouldn't add it to a bread. That's kind of a tougher herb. That's going to be something that's good, that's going to last during a long cook. So let's say if you are making a steak, that's a good herb to put into the pan with like some garlic and some butter to do a little butter basting, because that can withstand the heat quite a bit better. Here we go. This is looking really good. All right. So you've got that getting nice and brown on the second side. So just a great, easy flatbread. If you need to, when you need to reheat it, all you have to do, you can put it back into the pan or even into your oven, little toaster. Put it on the toast for a minute or two, and just to get it warmed up again, just to get a little bit of heat to it. That's fine, but these will be great for sandwiches. I mean, if you make smaller ones for a burger, flatbread sandwiches, like for a pita, etc. So you just don't have that hole in the center. There you go. So there we go. So that's my flatbread. There we go. So chive herb flatbread with a little bit of that compound butter that I just did. Okay, let me get this one out of the way. All I want to do really, it's hot. It's good though. Just get a little bit of that on there. And you can taste the tang from the yogurt, which is really good. It's so good. So thank you guys. Thanks again for joining. Thanks for joining me for this Farmers Market Live, where I use those herbs for my chive flatbread. I also want to say thanks if you are voting for me for the favorite chef competition. I appreciate all your votes. I appreciate all the support. Thanks, guys, and I'll repost this tomorrow.